Welcome, dear listener, and thank you for joining me tonight. Wherever you are in the world, curled up in bed, resting after a long day, or simply seeking a moment of peace, I'm so glad you've chosen to spend this time here with me. Before we begin, I'd love for you to take a moment to support this journey. If you enjoy these stories, don't forget to like this video. It truly helps the channel grow. And in the comments below, let me know where you're listening from tonight. It always amazes me to see this little community stretching across so many places, all of us dreaming together. Now let us slip into another time, the world of ancient Rome. But not the Rome of daylight, filled with noise and spectacle. Tonight we will wander in silence under the stars, through the empty arches of the Colosseum, where echoes whisper, torches flicker, and the great arena rests after a day of glory and blood. So settle in, breathe deeply, and allow me to guide you into a night in the Roman Colosseum. The sun lowers gently over the city of Rome, casting long golden rays across marble columns and tiled rooftops. The heat of the day fades, and with it, the thunder of the crowd dies away. The Colosseum, once roaring with voices, drums, and horns, now exhales into silence. The last cheers echo faintly, like ghosts dissolving into the evening air. Sandals scuff against stone as people trickle out through the great arches, their chatter softening with distance. A child clings to their father's cloak, tired from excitement. Merchants pack away trays of figs and honeyed nuts, their laughter faint as they count the day's coins. And then, the gates close. Heavy wooden doors groan as they shut, sealing in the silence. What was once a place of spectacle and noise is now something else entirely, a cavern of shadows, waiting for the night. Torches are lit along the inner corridors. Flames crackle softly, casting uneven light against walls, carved by centuries of hands and footsteps. The scent of smoke mixes with the faint iron tang of blood, still soaked into the sand of the arena floor. Servants sweep quietly, their brooms brushing the ground in hushed, rhythmic strokes, as though even they dare not disturb the stillness. Above, the sky deepens into hues of violet and indigo. From the highest tiers of seats, the last glow of the sun dips behind the seven hills of Rome. The first stars shimmer, timidly, as if watching what lingers in the Colosseum once the crowds have gone. The air grows cooler. A breeze slips through the arches, carrying the smell of baked bread from distant ovens and the faint, briny scent of the Tiber River. Rome is still alive beyond the walls, but here, in the Colosseum, the world is shifted. Day has ended. Night has begun. And as the shadows lengthen, the true stories of the Colosseum whisper awake. The sun is lowering now, a great glowing sphere melting into the horizon. Its golden light spills across the city of Rome, bathing marble temples and terracotta rooftops in warm fire. Every tile seems to shimmer, every column painted with fading brilliance. But as the shadows lengthen, the heartbeat of the city begins to change. We turn toward the Colosseum. The great amphitheater stands as if eternal, its arches glowing in the last streaks of daylight, like eyes watching over the city. All day it thundered with life drums, horns, the roar of tens of thousands. But now, the tide of voices ebbs. The grand spectacle is over. Listen, you can still hear the fading cheers of the crowd, like waves pulling away from the shore. Men call out to one another, gathering families, their words carrying in quick bursts, then softening into murmurs. Children tug at their fathers' cloaks, sticky with figs and honey, their tired eyes wide with the thrill of what they've seen. Merchants near the arches pack their baskets, the clink of coins ringing in little bursts as hands close around them. The sweet smell of roasted nuts and spiced wine lingers in the air, mixing now with the dust that rises from the trampling of sandals on stone. Step closer, and you'll hear the groan of the heavy wooden gates as they begin to close. One by one, the great doors thud into place. Each slam reverberates through the stone, sealing the Colosseum into a silence it only knows at night. Inside, torches are lit, The flames flicker and sway, crackling softly, as if whispering secrets to the dark. Their light dances against ancient walls that have felt centuries of footsteps, seen countless faces pass, and drunk in stories both glorious and grim. The arena floor, once alive with chaos, lies quiet. The sand glows faintly in the torchlight, but here and there dark stains mark the memory of the day. The iron scent of blood lingers, not overwhelming, but sharp enough to remind you of what has taken place here. Servants move silently across the floor, their brooms brushing in steady rhythmic strokes. Back and forth, a hushed song of bristles against sand. They do not speak much, only mutter softly under their breath. For in the emptiness of this place, even a whisper feels like it carries too far. Up above, the city hums faintly, a lull in the distance. You can smell bread baking in ovens not far away, and the faint briny touch of the Tiber River carried by the evening breeze. Through the arches, the sky deepens into indigo and violet. The first stars appear timidly, silver sparks in the fading light. Sit here for a while, in the stone seats that climb high into the sky. The stone is cool beneath you, worn smooth by the weight of centuries. From this height, you see the whole of Rome, the temples, the bustling streets still alive with lanterns, the smoke from hearth fires rising like ribbons into the air. But here, within the walls, time feels suspended. The Colosseum exhales. It shifts from a place of performance to a place of waiting. Shadows grow longer in the corridors. Torches sputter as the night wind slips through. Every flicker of light seems to give shape to something unseen, a suggestion of movement in the corner of your eye, a whisper that you cannot quite catch. The Colosseum, after all, is never truly empty. Its stones remember, its arches echo. And so, as the sun finally dips beyond the horizon and the last glow fades, the great arena gives itself to the night, silent, watchful, eternal. Now that the gates are closed, the Colosseum shifts into a quieter rhythm. The crowd is gone, but life still stirs within these walls. Life that does not cheer, life that waits. Beneath the arena floor lies a world unseen by most Romans. Narrow corridors, low-lit chambers, and heavy barred gates. Here the gladiators retreat after the day's contests. Their footsteps are heavy, dragging, sand clinging to their feet. Their bodies streaked with dust and sweat. Listen closely, you may hear the scrape of iron as weapons are collected, stored away until the next fight. Wooden racks hold swords dulled at the edges, shields bearing new dents. The smell of oiled leather lingers, mixed with the salt of sweat. The gladiators move into their cells. Some collapse onto straw mats without a word, their muscles trembling, their breaths ragged. Others sit in silence and their backs against the stone, staring into the shadows as if searching for something far away. In one corner, a pair whisper together, their voices low, the words too soft to catch. But the tone carries the weight of hope, or perhaps fear. Torches flicker along the passageways. Their light dances across scarred faces, shadows etched deep into every crease. For these men are both warriors and prisoners. And though the arena sleeps, tomorrow waits with open jaws. Not far away, slaves shuffle quietly, carrying buckets of water, baskets of food, simple bread, beans, and olives. Their sandals scuff softly against stone as they move quickly, avoiding the eyes of guards. They too are weary, yet their tasks never end. Deeper still, in the underground chambers, animals rest uneasily. Lions pace in their cages, the scrape of claws against wood echoing faintly. Their golden eyes catch the torchlight for a moment before vanishing back into shadow. Bears huff and growl, shifting straw beneath them, restless even in their sleep. And in smaller cages, deer and exotic birds stir, their feathers rustling, their movements nervous in the silence. The air here is thick, heavy with the mingling of scent straw, animal musk, damp stone, and the faint metallic tang of blood carried down from the arena. Every corridor hums with a low tension, as though the building itself knows it holds lives bound by chains of fate. Above, the seats stand empty, open to the stars. But below, within the belly of the Colosseum, countless breaths rise and fall. Men, slaves, beasts all waiting, all dreaming in their own way. If you pause, if you truly listen, you may hear it. The rhythm of their sleep, the whispers of their prayers. One gladiator murmurs to Mars, god of war. Another traces a charm into the dust with a finger, an old memory of a mother's blessing. A slave hums softly, a lullaby from a faraway land. The tune barely audible, but strangely soothing. The Colosseum is silent, yes, but never still. Every stone here holds life in its shadows. Life unseen by the crowd that cheered just hours ago. Life that continues into the night. They say, the Colosseum never truly sleeps. Even when the crowds are gone and the torches burn low, the arena still hums with voices. Not the voices of the living, but of those who never left. Imagine standing alone on the arena floor. Above you, rows of empty seats climb toward the night sky. The stars are scattered high above, yet down here shadows cling to every corner. The sand under your feet feels soft, but beneath it lies memory blood spilled, lives ended, and stories untold. The Romans themselves believed this place was haunted. Too much death had seeped into its stones for silence to ever be pure. They whispered of spirits wandering the corridors, gladiators who refused to leave, animals who still roared in the night long after their last breath. Listen, can you hear it? A faint echo, perhaps, drifting through the arches. The rhythmic thud of drums, but only for a moment, gone as quickly as it came. Some swore they heard the clash of swords in the dark, invisible combatants replaying battles that ended long ago. The corridors carry these sounds strangely. A single footstep can echo as if a dozen follow. A breath may linger too long, stretching into a sigh. Servants and guards spoke of feeling watched, of walking alone yet sensing another presence beside them. The smell of iron blood, long clean, still clings faintly in the air, and when the wind slips through the arches, it sometimes carries with it something colder than the night breeze, as though unseen figures move with it. Romans told tales of execution victims returning, their cries piercing the silence. Others claimed to see pale figures sitting in the seats at night, their faces turned toward the arena as if still waiting for the games to begin. The flicker of torchlight on stone sometimes forms shapes, a curved helmet, the glint of an eye, a hand outstretched only to vanish when looked at directly. Pause for a moment. Breathe in the quiet. Do you hear that faint murmur? Perhaps it is only the wind whispering through cracks in the stone, or perhaps it is the sound of 1,000 voices layered in the walls. Superstition ran deep in ancient Rome. Even the bravest guards crossed themselves with charms, muttering prayers under their breath when walking these halls after dark. The Colosseum was more than stone and sand. To them it was alive, and alive things never rest without dreams. Above, the moon shines silver, spilling light across the arena floor. The shadows deepen, stretching like dark figures across the sand. For a moment, the silence is so complete that you may imagine the Colosseum is holding its breath. And in that breathless pause, you wonder, are you alone here tonight? Step with me now, away from the corridors, away from the whispers of the dead, and climb upward higher and higher through stone staircases that spiral toward the sky. Your hand brushes against the cool walls as you ascend, the faint torchlight flickering behind you, until at last, you emerge. The night air greets you, fresh, cool, carried with it the mingled scents of the city. Baked bread from taverns still open late, smoke from hearth fires, a trace of olives and wine. Rome never truly sleeps, but from here, from the top of the Colosseum, it feels almost like it does. Beneath you lies the vast arena, bathed in moonlight. The sand glows pale silver, smooth and silent, as though it has swallowed the chaos of the day and lies dreaming. Torches burn faintly in the arches, their flames bending in the breeze, their light soft against the towering stone. Above, the sky spreads endlessly, indigo and black, stitched with stars. The moon hangs over the Colosseum like a watchful guardian, spilling its glow across every arch and column. It feels as though time itself has slowed, as if the world holds this moment gently in its hands. Guards patrol slowly along the upper passages, their sandals clicking softly against stone. Their shadows stretch long behind them, merging with the walls. One pauses to lean against the balustrade, his eyes lifting to the stars. Perhaps he is a soldier by day, but tonight here he is simply a man remembering the village he left behind, fields of wheat, the laughter of children, a mother's kitchen warm with firelight. He shifts, shakes his head, and continues on, his footsteps fading into the distance. In one quiet corner, a young couple hides among the shadows. Their whispers drift like music's soft laughter, stolen words, the brush of hands. They know the risk of being found, but in the vast silence of the Colosseum, their secret feels safe. Above them, the moonlight bathes their faces, and for this brief moment, love becomes part of the Colosseum's night. From this height, look outward beyond the walls. Rome stretches endlessly, a city of light and shadow. Lanterns glow along streets, flickering like fireflies. Taverns hum with quiet song. Farther still, the Tiber reflects the moon, a ribbon of silver winding through the dark. Temples stand solemn, their columns white and ghostly against the sky. The Palatine Hill glimmers faintly, its villas alive with feasts, even now. But here within the Colosseum, there is only stillness. The voices of Rome reach you faintly, blurred by distance, softened by the night. The world beyond feels like a dream, while this place, vast, silent, eternal, feels startlingly real. Or sit for a while on the stone bench. Feel the coolness beneath your hand, worn smooth by the passage of countless lives. Listen to the wind as it slips through arches, humming softly, as if playing the Colosseum itself like an instrument. Every breeze carries with it a secret, a whisper of history, a sigh of time. The stars above shine brighter now. If you watch closely, you might see one streak across the sky, vanishing in a blink. The Romans often made wishes upon such lights, believing the gods were listening. Imagine a gladiator, sitting here in the shadows, seeing that same streak of light centuries ago. Perhaps he wished for freedom, perhaps for victory, perhaps only for one more day. The Colosseum, under the stars, becomes something different. Not a place of blood, nor of spectacle, but of reflection. The stones seem gentler, the shadows kinder. The vastness no longer threatens, but comforts. And as the night deepens, you feel as though you are not just sitting in Rome, but sitting in time itself. Every star above, every whisper of wind, every flicker of torchlight belongs not only to the past, but to the present and to you, here, now. So rest, breathe deeply, let the cool night air wrap around you. You are in the Colosseum, but the Colosseum is also within you. Its arches hold your silence, its stones cradle your thoughts, and its night sky shares its dreams. For tonight, Rome sleeps beneath the stars, and you are part of its dream. The Colosseum above lies quiet, bathed in moonlight. But below, in the dim chambers where gladiators rest, the night carries a different weight. Straw rustles softly beneath tired bodies. The air is heavy with the scent of sweat, leather, and oil. Torches glow faintly in the hallways, their flames bowing with every draft of wind. The men lie upon their mats, some sprawled in exhaustion, others curled as though seeking comfort in a place that offers a little. Their breaths rise and fall in uneven rhythms. Yet in their minds, sleep does not bring silence. It brings visions, dreams that stir as vividly as the games themselves. One dreams of home. A small village far away from Rome's grandeur. He sees his father tending goats, his mother kneeling by a clay oven, bread rising with warmth. He hears the laughter of his younger brothers chasing one another through the fields. He dreams of running with them barefoot, carefree until the dream blurs, the sound of laughter swallowed by the echo of cheers. His eyes twitch, his hand clenches. Even in sleep, the Colosseum creeps in. Another dreams of victory. In his mind, he stands in the arena, sword raised high. The crowd roars, their voices washing over him like thunder. The emperor nods, the laurel crown gleams, and he feels for a moment like a god. Yet the dream is fragile. The faces in the crowd blur, dissolve, and suddenly he is alone, standing on sand that swallows his feet. The crown turns to dust in his hand. The roar fades into silence. He stirs in his sleep, brow furrowing, a whisper slipping through his lips, a name perhaps, or a prayer. Others dream of escape. The iron gates creak open in their minds, and they slip into the night, running through streets, vanishing into the hills beyond Rome. They imagine the taste of freedom, sweet, sharp, and fleeting. But the dream bends. Chains drag at their ankles. Shadows chase them. The city walls rise impossibly high. They awaken with a start, heart racing, only to find themselves still in the same stone chamber, still bound to tomorrow. Some do not dream of freedom or victory at all. Their dreams are simpler. A warm meal, a gentle touch, the memory of a lover's face, a river where they once fished as a child, the quiet of a night sky untouched by torches, where stars glimmer freely above open fields. These dreams cling to them like embers fragile, flickering, but enough to warm the soul for a moment. Listen closely. You may hear a faint murmur, a man whispering in his sleep, calling out to his gods. Mars, Jupiter, Fortuna. The words float like smoke into the dark, vanishing before they can be heard by anyone but the stones themselves. Another hums a tune barely audible, a melody from a homeland far away. It is broken, unfinished, but still beautiful, like a lullaby half remembered. The guards outside their chambers do not disturb them. They too know the weight of dreams, for in the Colosseum, sleep is not rest. It is rehearsal, it is longing, it is escape. As the hours drift, the dreams deepen. One gladiator dreams of the sea endless, blue, stretching farther than any wall. He feels the salt spray on his face, the rocking of a boat beneath him, the gulls calling overhead. He does not want to wake. Another dreams of fire torches blazing, the arena alive once more, his name shouted by thousands. It is both triumph and terror, for fire can warm or consume. And still the Colosseum listens. The stones breathe in every dream, every sigh, every restless turn. They hold these dreams like treasures, storing them for centuries, until even we centuries later may sit here and wonder what men saw when their eyes closed in the dark of this place. The night deepens, the torches burn low, the dreams ripple, some bright, some shadowed. And you too may find yourself slipping with them into a field of wheat, into the roar of a crowd, into the hush of an endless sea. For tonight, the gladiators are not only fighters, they are dreamers, and their dreams, like their battles, belong to the Colosseum. The night grows heavier now. The torches burn low, their flames trembling as if struggling to remain awake. The corridors hum with silence, broken only by the faint sigh of the wind that slips through the arches. The Colosseum is still, yet in its stillness, it feels alive, breathing, watching, remembering. Above, the stars have shifted across the sky. The moon, once high and silver, begins its slow descent toward the western horizon. Shadows stretch differently now, longer, softer, as though the Colosseum itself is drifting into slumber. Within its belly, gladiators continue to dream. Animals stir restlessly in their cages. A guard leans against a column, eyelids heavy, his spear tapping faintly against the stone floor as he fights his own sleep. Lovers whisper their final words before slipping away into the night, leaving only the echo of their laughter behind. And so, hour by hour, the Colosseum drifts deeper into its nocturnal hush. It becomes not just a building, but a vessel of memory. Every stone arch, every weathered column holds a fragment of a life lived, a voice raised, a story ended. Imagine the millions of footsteps that have walked these corridors, senators in silk robes, peasants in worn sandals, children wide-eyed with wonder, gladiators walking toward destiny. All of them remain here, folded into the silence. Sit with me a while longer in this place. Rest your hand upon the cold stone. Feel the grooves carved into it, not only by tools, but by time itself. The Colosseum is more than an arena. It is a monument to the weight of human experience. Glory and despair, triumph and sorrow, hope and fear all echo together in its silence. And then, a change. Subtle, almost invisible at first. The darkness softens. The eastern sky, far beyond the arches, begins to lighten with the faintest touch of gray. A bird stirs on the rim of the stone wall, fluttering its wings, calling out once to the morning. The first light of dawn brushes across the arena floor. The sand glows pale, kissed by the day's promise. Torches gutter and fade, their flames no longer needed. Guards straighten, rubbing weary eyes, ready to be replaced by the bustle of another day. Slaves begin to move again, preparing food, carrying water, their quiet labors rising like a new rhythm. For Rome awakens, and with it, the Colosseum shifts once more. It prepares for the roar, for the spectacle, for the tide of life that will flood its arches. But here, in this moment, before the sun fully rises, you have seen it as few ever did. Empty, silent, eternal. The Colosseum does not belong only to emperors or gladiators or crowds. It belongs to time itself, to memory, to the night that cradles it, and to the dawn that renews it. As the first rays of sun crest over the 7 hills, the shadows retreat, and the Colosseum exhales. Another night has passed, another day begins. And yet the stones remain, waiting, remembering, eternal. So close your eyes now, and carry with you the stillness of this night in Rome. Let the arches guard your dreams. Let the whispers of history soften your rest. And let the eternal Colosseum stand watch as you drift deeper into sleep. They say the Colosseum is vast above the ground, but its true heart lies hidden below. By day, the crowd never saw it. By night, it becomes a world of its own, a labyrinth of stone corridors, trapdoors, and chambers where whispers carry farther than shouts. Tonight, we descend. Step carefully. The air cools as we move downward, away from the open sky and into the belly of the arena. The torches sputter here, their light dimmer, shadows stretching farther along the walls. The stone steps echo with each footfall, as though the Colosseum itself is listening. Here the passages run long and narrow. Wooden beams creak under the weight of centuries. Iron bars groan in their hinges. And in every corner, secrets linger. This is where animals were kept before their release, where gladiators waited in silence, where slaves carried out their unseen labors. Listen, can you hear it? The faint trickle of water seeping through cracks, dripping into hidden pools. The shuffle of rats moving along the straw. The low hum of wind slipping through vents that connect to the arena floor. It is a place alive with small sounds, magnified by silence. The Romans built these underground chambers with precision. Trapdoors opened into the arena above, releasing beasts suddenly into the sand, or lifting entire platforms with pulleys and ropes. Even now you can imagine the grind of gears, the straining of ropes, the shout of men working in the dark, unseen by the audience above. The smell here is different. Damp stone, old wood, straw that never quite dries. The musk of lions still clings faintly, as though the scent has soaked into the walls. Somewhere the ghost of a growl seems to echo not loud, but low, a vibration in the silence. Pause for a moment. Touch the wall. It is cold, rough beneath your hand, carved not for beauty, but for necessity. These stones were not meant to impress. They were meant to contain, to control, to keep the chaos of men and beasts hidden until the moment of spectacle. And yet, here in the night, with no crowd above, no games to be played, this place feels different. It feels older, as if the Colosseum is showing you its true self, not the marble mask of grandeur, but the shadowed heart of labor and silence. Legends say these corridors were haunted most of all. Slaves swore they heard footsteps behind them, though no one followed. Gladiators felt eyes watching from the dark as they sat waiting for the gates to open. Even animals, it was said, grew restless, snarling at shadows that moved without form. Here, beneath the arena, every whisper matters. Every echo becomes a story. Every flicker of torchlight feels like a sign. So walk slowly, breathe deeply, and let the Colosseum show you what lies beneath its surface. For above, Rome sleeps. But down here, the night is wide awake. The corridors deepen, winding farther into the belly of the Colosseum. Here the air grows heavier. Damp stone presses close on either side, and the faint smell of oil and sweat lingers. This is no place of glory. It is a place of labor, a place of shadows. Slaves move quietly through these passages, their bare feet brushing against the rough ground. The flicker of a single torch in hand throws tall, wavering shadows along the walls. They do not speak much. Words are scarce here, replaced instead by the sounds of work, the groan of wood, the clink of iron, the steady drag of ropes pulled hand over hand. Ramps and pulleys line the hidden chambers. Wooden platforms rest in the dark, ready to be raised into the arena above. Ropes coil like snakes upon the ground, thick and rough, worn from countless shows. At night, slaves inspect them, repairing frayed strands, tightening knots, oiling the beams that creak with strain. Their hands are calloused, fingers raw from endless toil, but they move with practiced rhythm. Every task is done in silence, not only from caution, but from necessity, for sound carries strangely here. A whisper in one chamber might echo into another. A careless laugh could wake a restless beast in its cage. Even the guards above prefer silence, and so the slaves have learned to fold their voices inward, to save their words for prayer or song when no one can hear. Yet even in this silence, life finds a way to whisper. A boy too young for such work hums faintly as he drags a bucket of water. The tune is simple, broken, but it carries warmth, and for a moment the corridor feels less cold. An older man pauses, setting down his burden, and with weary hands traces a symbol into the dust. Perhaps a mark of protection, perhaps just a memory of home. They labor through the night. Some carry baskets of straw to line cages. Others refill troughs with water. The strongest haul timber beams onto their shoulders, staggering under the weight but pressing forward. Their work is endless, for the Colosseum demands it even in sleep. It must be fed. The animals, too, sense their presence. A lion stirs, pacing behind bars, its growl low and steady. The slaves move faster when they hear it, keeping their eyes down, hands trembling slightly on the rope. A bear shifts in its pen, snorting as though dreaming of wild forests it will never see again. Even the deer, delicate and trembling, stamp their hooves restlessly on the straw. Every sound magnifies the tension, the scrape of wood, the shuffle of feet, the faint drip of water from the ceiling. Each noise is part of a rhythm of survival. The slaves know it well. They have no choice. Yet even in such a place, hope flickers. One leans close to another, whispering a memory of his homeland, a river he once fished in, a festival of lights, a song sung by his mother. The words are short, hurried, but enough to remind them that life exists beyond these walls. For though Rome claims their bodies, their dreams remain their own. And the Colosseum listens. It absorbs every sigh, every scrape, every whisper of prayer. The stones drink it in, storing it alongside the roars of the crowd, the cries of the beasts, the clash of swords. All of it becomes part of the same eternal memory. So pause here with me. Stand in this underground corridor, where the torchlight flickers and the ropes sway gently. Listen to the faint breaths of those who labor, their lives woven into the very machinery of spectacle. The world above knows nothing of their toil, yet without them, the Colosseum would never wake. They are the unseen heartbeat of the arena, and tonight, as the world sleeps, they continue steady, silent, eternal. The night deepens in the hidden passages of the Colosseum. The torches gutter low, their flames bowing as though in reverence to the shadows. The silence here is heavy, thick with the weight of centuries. And in such silence, stories take root, stories of things unseen. Slaves, guards, and workers all knew the Colosseum was not merely stone and sand. It was alive, and at night it spoke in ways they dared not always describe. They whispered of cold winds that swept through closed corridors, gusts that came from no open arch or crack. Men swore that the breezes carried voices, faint murmurs, laughter, sobs drifting past their ears like smoke. Some refused to walk the passages alone, for fear of hearing a name whispered from behind them. Others told of shadows moving against the walls when no man walked nearby. Torchlight flickered, bending shapes into figures, a man with a helmet, a woman raising her hands, an animal crouched to pounce only for the shapes to vanish when stared at too long. A trick of the eye, perhaps, or perhaps something else. Guards muttered of footsteps echoing where none should be. Heavy armored strides that rang like gladiators marching to their fate. Sometimes the sound would grow louder, closer, until it felt as though a whole column approached. Yet when they turned the corner, there was only emptiness. The silence that followed was worse than the noise. One tale passed among the slaves spoke of a woman in white. She was said to appear near the cages of beasts, her form pale as moonlight, her face obscured. Some said she was a grieving wife searching for her husband lost in the arena. Others believed she was a goddess of mercy, walking among the condemned. But all agreed, to see her was a sign, a warning of death soon to come. The most frightening tales were of the arena itself. On nights when the moon was full, some claimed to hear the roar of crowds, distant but distinct, rising from the sand though no one stood above. The sounds swelled like thunder, then broke into silence without warning. A slave once swore he saw the sand ripple as though trampled by invisible feet, the imprint of a struggle pressed into the grains, vanishing before his eyes. He never returned to work in the Colosseum again. Superstitions took root. Some wore charms carved from bone or wood, pressed against their chests as they walked the corridors. Others whispered prayers to old gods, names long forgotten, gods of shadows and thresholds, begging safe passage through the night. Even the guards, hardened and proud, muttered under their breath when the torches burned too low. And yet, not all the whispers were fearful. Some believed the spirits here were guardians, watching over the oppressed. A slave who narrowly avoided punishment claimed he had felt a hand pull him back into shadow, though no one stood beside him. Another swore that in his dreams, voices of the dead told him when to act, when to hide, when to wait. To him, the Colosseum was not cursed, but protective. Whatever the truth, the night in these passages carried a weight. Each sound became a question, each silence an answer unspoken. Stand here for a moment. Let the torchlight flicker across the stones. Feel the cool breath of air that should not be here, brushing against your skin. Do you hear it? The faint rhythm of footsteps, the soft murmur of voices, the sigh of something not seen. Perhaps it is nothing. Perhaps it is everything. For in the Colosseum, the line between history and memory, between the living and the dead, was always thin, and at night that line almost disappears. After wandering so long in the shadows below, let us rise again. Climb the stone steps, feel the cool air growing fresher with each breath, and step once more into the open night. The Colosseum above is waiting crowned now in moonlight. Its arches glow silver, its vast circle glimmers like a sleeping giant beneath the stars. And from this height, Rome itself unfolds before you, a city bathed in stillness, yet alive in whispers. Look first to the arena floor. The sand lies quiet, soft and pale in the moon's embrace. The stains of the day are hidden now, blurred into one shimmering surface. It is as though the arena has forgotten, if only for a few hours, what blood it has swallowed. The silence here is not eerie, but solemn like a temple at prayer. Torches still burn along the outer arches. Their flames bend in the breeze, golden against the white stone. each one a little heartbeat in the vastness of night. Their light spills across the seats, tracing curves and shadows, softening the sharpness of the stone. Now lift your gaze higher. The stars above shine fiercely, scattered across the Roman sky. The Milky Way drifts faintly, a river of light flowing endlessly, watched by gods and mortals alike. The moon hangs low, luminous and full, washing every marble column, every tiled roof, every distant hill in silver glow. From here you see the city stretch outward in every direction. The streets shimmer with lanterns, flickering like fireflies. Taverns hum faintly in the distance, their songs softened by the night air. Smoke curls gently from hearth fires, rising into the sky like threads of shadow weaving into light. The Palatine Hill glows faintly with the wealth of noble villas. The Tiber River winds through the dark, its waters glimmering like molten glass. Listen closely. Even in stillness, Rome hums. A cartwheel creaks along a distant street. A dog barks once, then fades into silence. The faint strum of a lyre drifts from an open tavern, soft as a lullaby. The city rests, but it does not sleep. Guards patrol the upper walls of the Colosseum, their sandals echoing against stone. Their silhouettes pass across the arches like shadows against the canvas. Some pause to rest, leaning upon their spears, their eyes drawn upward to the stars. One tilts his head back, perhaps wondering if the gods themselves look down upon this monument. Another traces a small charm in the air with his hand, a prayer for safety in the quiet hours. And in the shadows of the seats, not all is solemn. Lovers sit close, whispering softly, their laughter carried only a few feet before fading. They tuck themselves into corners, hidden from watchful eyes, their secret moments preserved by the Colosseum's vast silence. The night makes space for them, for tenderness, even here. The longer you sit, the more the night reveals. A breeze stirs, carrying the faint perfume of flowers from gardens below. The stars shift, as if sliding slowly across the heavens. The moon dips lower, painting longer shadows across the arena. Time feels slower here, stretched thin, as though the Colosseum bends it to its will. Sit upon the highest stone bench. Let your hand brush the weathered grooves worn by countless others who once sat here watching, waiting, dreaming. They too saw these same stars. They too breathed this same night air. And in this moment, across centuries, you are connected to them. The Colosseum under the stars is no longer a place of blood or spectacle. It is a crown upon the city, a silent guardian, holding the night within its embrace. So linger, watch, breathe. For this is Rome at rest, eternal, glowing and alive in the silence of the moon. The Colosseum above lies silver in the moonlight, silent and eternal. But below, in the dim torchlit chambers where the gladiators sleep, the night takes a different form. The hour is late now, past midnight. The torches gutter weakly, their flames shrinking with every draft of wind. The air is thick, heavy with the scent of straw, sweat, and damp stone. Breathing fills the chamber uneven, restless, punctuated by the occasional sigh or groan. And as their bodies surrender to sleep, their minds open to dreams. But these are not the gentle dreams of evening. These are the deeper dreams of midnight, when shadows weigh heavily and memory sharpens into visions. One man dreams of the arena. He is there again, standing upon the sand, the crowd roaring in a blur. Yet this time his sword feels impossibly heavy. His limbs move as though bound in chains. He raises his shield, but it crumbles in his hand like ash. He turns to run, yet every archway stretches farther away, the gates receding into darkness. The dream tightens around him like a trap, and he stirs in his sleep, sweat gathering upon his brow. Another dreams of freedom, a vision so vivid he almost believes it. He walks along a country path, fields stretching on either side, the smell of wheat warm in the breeze. A river glitters ahead, and his family waits there, calling his name. He runs toward them, faster, faster, until the path shifts, stone replacing grass, arches rising, and suddenly he is not in a field but in the Colosseum once more. His family watches from the seats above, silent, their faces blurred, and he falls to his knees in despair. A muffled cry escapes his lips, even as he sleeps. Others dream of battles long past. They relive every clash, every wound, every roar of beasts. The lion's teeth glint in the dark. The bear's weight crushes their chest. The opponent's blade flashes too quickly to block. These dreams are sharp, unrelenting, and though their bodies lie still, their fingers twitch as though clutching at phantom weapons. There are stranger dreams too. Dreams that feel less like memory and more like messages. One gladiator dreams of fire flames sweeping across the arena, devouring sand and stone alike, rising higher and higher until the stars themselves vanish behind smoke. Another dreams of water, a flood surging into the Colosseum, drowning seats and corridors, carrying away cries and cheers in its current. These are not memories but visions, heavy with meaning no one can quite understand. And then there are the quiet dreams, dreams that pierce the heart with their simplicity. A man dreams of sitting at a table, eating bread warm from the oven, sharing wine with friends. He dreams of laughter that is not cruel but kind. He dreams of silence unbroken by commands or cheers. It is such a small dream, yet it glows like a candle in the darkness, fragile but comforting. Around them, the Colosseum listens. Its stones hold their sighs, their murmurs, the names they call out in half-sleep. Mother, Fortuna, home. The words slip into the air, hang there for a moment, and then are swallowed by the silence. Outside their chambers, guards pace slowly. They hear these murmurs sometimes, drifting from behind doors. Some cross themselves with charms, believing the dreams reach beyond the living. Others only shake their heads, knowing that dreams are the only place these men are free. The hour deepens, the night grows colder. The dreams spiral darker, stranger. In one vision, a gladiator stands upon the sand alone. But when he looks down, the arena is not filled with blood. It is filled with stars, galaxies swirling beneath his feet, the universe itself yawning wide. He feels small, yet infinite, before waking with a start, breath ragged, eyes searching the shadows. In the stillness that follows, their breathing resumes its rhythm. The dreams drift on, unseen but deeply felt. The gladiators are not only fighters, they are men caught between life and death, between memory and hope, between nightmare and prayer, and in their dreams, the Colosseum itself dreams with them. The hours of night pass slowly in the Colosseum. The dreams of gladiators stir and fade. The torches burn lower, their light now little more than trembling embers. The air is cool, still, thick with the weight of silence. The Colosseum feels vast, endless, a hollow giant that holds the night inside its arches. And then, almost unnoticed at first, the silence begins to shift. It begins with a faint sound, the distant call of a bird perched upon the rim of stone high above. Its cry breaks the stillness, soft yet certain, announcing what is to come. A breeze follows lighter than the night wind, carrying with it a freshness that speaks of change. Look upward. The stars have begun to fade. Where once the sky was ink black, now it softens, shaded with pale blue and silver. The moon lowers, slipping quietly behind the hills, its watch complete. In its place, a faint glow gathers on the horizon. Dawn is coming. The arena floor brightens by degrees. The sand, once silver under the moon, now takes on a softer color, touched by the gray of morning. Shadows retreat slowly, curling back toward the arches as if reluctant to leave. The stains of yesterday's struggles become visible once more, reminders of what the day will demand. Beneath the arena, the slaves stir. Their tasks never truly ceased, but now their movements grow quicker, sharper. Water is fetched, straw replaced, pulleys checked. Their quiet world of labor shifts into preparation for another day of spectacle. Some rub their eyes wearily, shaking off the dregs of sleep. Others whisper prayers to unseen gods, asking for strength, for mercy, for anything that will help them endure the hours to come. At Tiso, the gladiators too awaken. One by one, their eyes open, heavy with fatigue. Some sit silently, staring into the dimness, holding their thoughts close. Others stretch their weary limbs, testing scars and wounds that ache with each movement. They rise slowly, for they know what waits above. Some clutch at charms tied around their necks. Some murmur names. A few close their eyes again, not to sleep, but to steal one last moment of imagined peace. And above it all, the Colosseum breathes, its stones warm with the first light of day. Its arches glow faintly, each curve touched by the rising sun. From the highest seats, the view of Rome unfolds once more, rooftops shining, smoke rising gently from morning fires, the hum of carts and footsteps echoing in the streets. The city awakens, and with it, the Colosseum awakens too. For this place is not only of the night, it belongs also to the day, to the roar of crowds, to the clash of steel, to the cries that will soon fill its air. Yet in these quiet hours before the first trumpet sounds, you have seen a different Colosseum, the hidden one, the silent one, the eternal one. Rest your hand against the stone once more. Feel its warmth returning as the sun climbs higher. Imagine how many hands have touched it before you, how many eyes have seen this dawn, how many souls have passed through these gates. The Colosseum is not just a monument, it is a witness. It has watched empires rise and fall, victories and defeats, nights of silence and days of thunder. And it remains, always. As the light spreads, shadows vanish, and the world of night recedes into memory. But the Colosseum remembers. It remembers every whisper, every footstep, every dream breathed into its walls. And tonight, when the sun sets again, it will remember you too. So breathe deeply. Carry the silence of this night with you. Let it settle into your thoughts like a soft echo. For even as day breaks, even as Rome stirs and life demands, the Colosseum remains eternal, watching, waiting, holding the secrets of the night within its stone. The Colosseum is vast, but it is not Rome itself. Beyond its arches lies a city alive even in the silence of night. And tonight, we step outside, into streets bathed in moonlight, to wander through the sleeping soul of the empire. Step with me through one of the towering gates. The heavy wood creaks as it opens, the iron studs glinting in the last glow of torches. Beyond it, the Roman Forum stretches wide, lit faintly by the moon. Columns rise like pale sentinels, their marble shimmering silver. Shadows pool at their bases, dark and deep, while statues of gods gaze down with blank, eternal eyes. The streets are quieter now than they ever are by day. No merchants shouting, no carts clattering, no senators sweeping by with retinues of slaves. Instead, the city whispers. The tap of a guard's sandals echoes faintly as he patrols. Somewhere far off, a dog barks once, then is silent. The rest is stillness. Walk with me along the cobbled road. The stones are uneven, polished smooth by centuries of feet. They gleam faintly with dew in the moonlight, cool beneath each step. The air carries a scent of bread from taverns still open, mingled with wine, smoke, and the faint trace of herbs burned at shrines. To your left, a tavern door glows faintly. Inside, voices murmur low. A handful of men huddle around a clay lamp, their faces shadowed, their laughter subdued. A lute strums softly in the background, not the raucous song of festival, but a tired melody, a lullaby for those too restless to sleep. Outside, a lone figure leans against the wall, sipping watered wine from a cup, watching the stars. To your right, a temple rises, its steps worn smooth, its columns towering. Offerings lie scattered at its base, coins, figs, wreaths of flowers already wilting. The priests have long since gone, but the air still hums with incense, faint yet clinging, as though the gods themselves linger even when no one prays. As we wander farther, we pass insulae, the crowded apartment blocks of Rome's poor. Windows glow faintly here and there, small candles burning behind wooden shutters. Inside, families curl together on straw mats, sharing warmth against the cool night air. A mother hums softly to her child. A man stirs in restless sleep, dreaming perhaps of debts or battles or harvests yet to come. The walls creak with the weight of lives lived closely, intimately, endlessly. Not far away, the villas of the wealthy stand in sharp contrast. Their gardens shimmer faintly in the moonlight, fountains trickling softly, statues gleaming white. Within, oil lamps burn steadily, their glow spilling through shuttered windows. Here, sleep comes more luxuriously, silk sheets, feathered pillows, guards at the doors. Yet even in wealth, dreams find their way, carrying whispers of ambition, fear, and longing. The city breathes all around you. Each alley hums with quiet life. Each shadow holds a story. Rome is vast, yet at night it feels almost intimate, as though the empire has drawn a blanket around itself. And always in the distance, the Colosseum rises. Its arches glow faintly, a crown of stone against the sky. No matter where you walk in Rome, its presence lingers. Even as you listen to the whispers of taverns, or the sigh of temples, or the hush of families asleep, the Colosseum waits a reminder that tomorrow, the city's dreams and fears will gather again within its walls. But tonight, Rome slumbers, and we are free to wander through its moonlit silence. The city of Rome is vast, and by day, it overwhelms with its noise and its heat. But at night, the streets belong to silence and to those who move quietly within it. Walk with me deeper into the maze of alleys. The cobblestones glimmer with dew, reflecting the silver of the moon. The shadows here are thicker, darker, pressing close against the walls of insulae. Yet even here the city breathes softly. We come to a market square. By day this place bursts with life vendors shouting, children darting between stalls, the smell of roasted meats and fresh fruit filling the air. But now, the market sleeps. The wooden stalls stand empty, their shutters drawn. Tables are bare save for a stray fig, a crust of bread, a scattering of herbs crushed underfoot. The silence feels strange, almost theatrical, as though the market itself holds its breath until the sun returns. In the corner of the square, a fountain trickles softly. Its water gleams in the moonlight, silver streams falling into a basin worn smooth by centuries. The sound is gentle, soothing a lullaby for the city itself. A stray dog laps at the edge, then curls into a ball beneath the statue, sighing as it settles into dreams. The ripples carry on, undisturbed, a rhythm older than the empire itself. Yet not all who walk Rome at night come in search of sleep. In a shadowed alley near the market, two men meet. Their voices are low, their cloaks pulled tight, their faces hidden in shadow. Perhaps they are traders, passing coin and goods away from the watchful eye of the law. Perhaps they are messengers, exchanging secrets meant for ears alone. Their words are lost to us, but the tension of their bodies, the sharp turns of their heads, tell of caution and urgency. After a moment, they part, one disappearing into the maze of streets, the other vanishing down a stairwell beneath an insula. The silence closes around them as if they were never here. Farther on, we pass a shrine tucked into the wall of an alley. A small niche holds a clay lamp, its flames still flickering weakly. Before it lies a scattering of offerings, coins, flowers, a bit of bread left by someone too poor to give more. The scent of burned incense lingers faintly, sweet and smoky. Even in the darkest hours, Romans whispered their prayers, hoping the gods would guard them through the night. The deeper we wander, the more the city reveals its contrasts. In one street, laughter spills faintly from behind the shutters of a tavern, men too restless to sleep, their voices rising in bursts before quieting again. In the next, silence reigns so completely you can hear your own breath echo against the walls. One moment, the city feels alive, vibrant, restless. The next, it feels ancient, solemn, eternal. The lamps that line the wealthier avenues burn steadily, casting a golden glow across marble facades. Statues gleam faintly in their light, Jupiter with his thunderbolt, Venus with her serene smile, Mars standing proud with his spear. Their stone eyes gaze upon the city as it sleeps, watching without judgment. In the poorer districts, by contrast, darkness reigns. A single candle flickers from a window high above, its glow barely reaching the street below. Here, dreams are humbler, yet perhaps more real. And always, no matter how far you walk, the sound of water follows. Rome is a city of fountains, of aqueducts carrying life into every quarter. The trickle and splash echo through the night like a constant heartbeat, reminding the city and us that life never truly halts. Even in slumber, Rome breathes. Now pause for a moment in this silent square. The stars above are faint, dimmed by the glow of oil lamps, yet still they shimmer. The air is cool, touched with the scent of stone and smoke. The streets are empty before you, yet heavy with the weight of all who have walked them, senators and slaves, merchants and children, dreamers and wanderers. Their footsteps echo still if you listen closely enough. The Colosseum looms in the distance, its arches glowing faintly in the moonlight. Even as you stand here far from its walls, it seems to watch a silent guardian of Rome's night. A reminder that every corner of the city connects back to its heart. So let us walk onward. The night is not yet done, and Rome still has secrets to share. The streets wind upward, carrying us from the quiet markets into a different realm. The sacred heights of Rome, where temples rise like stairways to the gods. By day, these places swell with worshippers, their steps loud upon marble floors, their offerings spilling into bronze bowls. But now, in the silence of night, they stand still, vast, echoing, eternal. The first we come to is the Temple of Jupiter, great and solemn upon the Capitoline Hill. Its columns gleam white under the moon, towering like pillars of cloud. At its entrance, braziers smolder faintly, their embers glowing deep red. The scent of incense clings to the air, sharp and sweet, as though the smoke of prayers still hovers here, reluctant to disperse. Step closer. The steps are cool underfoot, polished by countless sandals. Within the shadows of the portico, statues loom gods rendered in marble, their features both stern and serene. Jupiter himself gazes outward, thunderbolt in hand, his eyes carved to look forever into the horizon. At night, under the flickering light of a torch, those eyes seem almost alive. The doors are closed now, heavy bronze barred for the night. But if you press your ear to them, you might hear the faint echo of voices. Not real voices, but memory chants of priests, cries of supplicants, the rustle of offerings laid at the feet of the divine. The temple holds these sounds, storing them like treasures, releasing them only in whispers when no one is there to listen. Farther along, we pass smaller shrines tucked into corners of the city. A statue of Mercury, his wings poised mid-flight, stands beneath an archway. Before him, offerings of figs and coins lie scattered, glinting faintly in the moonlight. The air here is still, yet alive with presence, as though the god himself lingers unseen, guarding those who walk these midnight streets. Another shrine belongs to Venus. Her figure is softer, carved in flowing lines, her face gentle even in stone. At her feet, garlands of flowers wilt, their perfume faint but sweet, carried still on the night breeze. Lovers pass by here in daylight, whispering promises. But at night the shrine feels different. Not playful but solemn, as though love itself has grown quiet, dreaming along with the city. The most mysterious of all are the old temples, half forgotten, crumbling into ruin. Their columns lean, their statues weathered, their inscriptions fading. Yet even in decay they hum with presence. Owls perch upon their ledges, their eyes glowing in the dark. Ivy winds up their stones, green tendrils shimmering faintly in moonlight. These ruins feel older than Rome itself, whispers from an age when gods were closer, more dangerous, more wild. Pause here. Look upward, the stars seem brighter above these temples, as though the heavens bend closer, listening. The Milky Way stretches wide, a river of silver light flowing past the gods' eternal gaze. Romans believed the gods walked among them, unseen, and in moments like this, it is easy to understand why. The silence here is thick, but not empty. It is filled with presence, with memory, with something greater than words. Listen carefully. Do you hear it? The faint ring of a bell carried from a distant altar. The soft rustle of wind moving through columns, sounding almost like a chant. The whisper of prayers left behind, still clinging to the stone. The temples at night are not for crowds. They are for the city itself, Rome speaking softly to its gods, and the gods, perhaps, whispering back. As you stand in the moonlit shadow of these sacred places, you feel both small and infinite. You are one of countless souls who have stood here, gazed upward, and felt the pull of eternity. The gods may be silent tonight, but their presence lingers, woven into the stone, the air, the very stars above. And so the temples sleep, but they do not rest. They keep watch, they dream with Rome, and they wait for the dawn, when once again their doors will open and voices will rise. We have walked the temples where gods sleep in silence. Now let us step into the quieter corners of Rome, into the homes of its people, where dreams are smaller, softer, but no less important. The insulae rise first before us, tall and narrow apartment blocks, their walls worn by time. By day, they burst with life merchants selling from their doorways, children shouting, neighbors gossiping across balconies. But by night, the streets outside fall quiet, and within, families curl together in the hush of sleep. Climb the creaking stairs. The wood groans beneath each step, the air thick with the mingled scents of smoke, cooked fish, and damp straw. Push open a crooked door, and you see them, a family resting on mats spread across the floor. A mother lies with her child nestled against her chest, the child's tiny fingers clutching at her tunic, even in dreams. A father snores softly nearby, his arm thrown across a basket of tools he will carry at dawn. The flicker of a single oil lamp dances on the wall, its light dimming as the oil runs low. Listen closely. The room hums with soft breaths, the occasional murmur of a dream. The child whimpers once, then sighs, lost again in slumber. The mother stirs, smoothing her hand gently across the child's hair, whispering words no one else will hear. These are the dreams of the humble, fragile, fleeting, but rich with love and survival. In the wealthier villas, sleep looks different. Step across polished mosaics, past courtyards filled with statues and fountains still trickling in the moonlight. Curtains drawn across wide windows ripple faintly in the breeze. Within, couches are laid with silks, pillows stuffed with feathers. Men and women recline under woven blankets, their dreams scented with perfumes and warmed by braziers burning steadily through the night. Yet even here, rest is not always peaceful. One man turns restlessly, muttering as though speaking to the Senate even in sleep. Another clutches a sheet, his brow furrowed, dreams of wealth and power twisting into shadows of loss. Children in these homes dream differently than their parents of games and courtyards, of bright feasts, of tales told by tutors at dusk. Their laughter bubbles even in sleep, untroubled by the weight of the empire. Step into another quarter, the soldiers' barracks. Men lie shoulder to shoulder, their armor stacked neatly beside them, their swords resting within reach. Some sleep deeply, unmoving, exhausted by drills and patrols. Others twitch in their dreams, hands clenching as though gripping shields, reliving battles fought or battles yet to come. One mutters a prayer to Mars, his lips moving silently, asking for strength. Another whispers the name of a woman far away. The barracks hum like a single body, dozens of breaths rising and falling together. Not far off, in the poorest corners of the city, the homeless sleep beneath arches and stairwells, wrapped in thin cloaks against the cool air. A beggar curls against the wall of a temple, clutching a loaf of bread to his chest like treasure. His sleep is shallow, stirred by the chill and the fear of waking to find the bread gone. Yet even here, dreams come of warmth, of abundance, of a tomorrow kinder than today. And scattered across the city, watchmen pace slowly, their eyes heavy with fatigue. They glance into the shadows, their torches casting fleeting circles of light. For them, the night holds no dreams, only vigilance. Yet sometimes even a guard finds himself staring too long at the stars, letting the rhythm of his steps soften, slipping for a moment into a waking dream. Rome at night is a patchwork of slumber, the wealthy upon silk, the poor upon straw, the soldier with his sword, the beggar with his bread. Each drifts into dreams shaped by the life they live. Yet all of them sleep under the same sky, the same moon, the same silent Colosseum watching from afar. And if you listen, truly listen, you may hear the city dreaming, a chorus of breaths, of murmurs, of sighs, 1,000 lives folded into one long, quiet exhale. This is Rome at rest, and in its dreams, it is whole. Citor, Rome is vast. Streets stretch for miles, arches rise high, temples gleam, villas and insulae cluster together like stars in a constellation. By day, the city is a storm of voices, footsteps, shouts, laughter, arguments, prayers. But at night, the storm quiets, the city exhales, and it begins to dream. If you close your eyes, you can almost feel it. The hum of thousands of lives blending into one rhythm, one heartbeat. The rise and fall of breathing from countless homes becomes like the tide, soft and steady. Rome itself seems to drift into slumber, its stones heavy with memory, its streets carrying not footsteps, but whispers. What does a city dream of? Perhaps Rome dreams of triumphs, victories carved into marble, legions marching in perfect formation, banners fluttering against the sky, the sound of drums and horns, the cheers of citizens, the thunder of boots upon the Via Sacra. In its sleep, the city might relive its greatest moments, emperors crowned, temples consecrated, feasts stretching long into the night. But dreams are never only bright. Shadows creep in, even into the dreams of empires. Rome may also dream of its fierce fires that once licked across rooftops, consuming whole quarters of the city, floods that rose from the Tiber, drowning homes and temples alike, the whispers of enemies beyond its borders, unseen yet waiting. These fears too belong to the city, folded into its memory like scars. Sometimes the dreams blur triumph and fear weaving together. A general stands victorious in a dream, laurel upon his head, but the crowd that cheers his name melts into faceless shadows, their applause turning to silence. A temple gleams in moonlight, but the marble cracks, ivy climbing across it faster than time itself. Rome dreams of eternity, but also of fragility. And within these dreams, the voices of its people echo, the prayers whispered in temples, the laughter of children chasing one another in courtyards, the sighs of gladiators sleeping beneath the arena, the cries of mothers, the songs of lovers, the chants of priests. All of it weaves together, becoming one great chorus, a lullaby sung by thousands without knowing. The Colosseum, standing proud, is part of this dream. It dreams of cheers, of battles, of silence, of ghosts. Its arches hold centuries. And as Rome dreams, so too does its greatest monument. It is as if the stones themselves close their eyes, seeing not just what is, but what has been, and what might yet come. Walk with me through this dream. The streets blur, the statues shimmer, the temples glow faintly. The city is no longer solid stone, but a memory of itself floating in time. Every sound is softer, every color muted, as though Rome wears a veil of sleep. And yet it feels more alive than ever, a giant at rest, breathing, shifting, dreaming. Perhaps Rome dreams of the future of children yet unborn, of empires yet unchallenged, of centuries stretching forward like a road without end. Or perhaps it dreams of its own fall, though that lies far ahead, unimagined by those who sleep tonight. For now, the dream is enough, a dream of power and fragility, of eternity and change, of life woven together in one vast tapestry. As you stand here listening, watching, breathing with the city, you feel it. You are part of this dream. The stones beneath your feet remember you too. The air you breathe carries whispers of prayers long since spoken. The stars above shine on Rome as they shine on you. And so the dream of Rome continues, vast and eternal, until the dawn comes to wake it once more. The night has grown long. The stars, once bright and countless, have begun to dim, their silver light paling against the horizon. Rome still breathes in sleep, but its dream is fragile now, thinning, like mist at the edge of morning. Look to the east. A faint shimmer appears above the hills, a whisper of color that was not there before. pale gray touched with the softest gold, spread slowly across the sky. The moon lowers, retreating toward the west, its watch ending as the sun prepares to rise. The Colosseum, too, begins to change. Its arches, silver under starlight, now glow faintly with dawn's promise. Shadows soften, retreating into corners. The sand of the arena floor brightens, grain by grain, as though waking from its own long slumber. The torches along the walls burn low, their flames flickering desperately before surrendering to the stronger light of day. Listen closely. The city stirs. A cart creaks along a distant road, wheels bumping against the stones. A rooster crows, sharp and clear, breaking the hush. In the insulated doors creak, footsteps shuffle, voices murmur. Bakers rise first, their ovens already glowing, filling the air with the smell of warm bread. Water splashes into basins, fires are kindled, and the hum of life gathers once again. Beneath the arena, slaves begin their labors anew, straw is hauled, ropes checked, cages prepared. The quiet of their night gives way to the rhythm of work, steady and unrelenting. Gladiators stir on their mats, rubbing weary eyes, their bodies stiff but restless. They rise slowly, knowing what day will demand, each carrying his own private prayer into the morning. Above, Rome awakens. Villas glow with fresh lamplight. Priests ascend the temple steps, chanting softly as they greet the dawn. Merchants begin to gather their wares, preparing stalls for the day's trade. Children stir from their dreams, rubbing eyes, whispering sleep-muddled words to their mothers. The empire, vast and mighty, exhales into a new day. And yet, pause for a moment longer in this in-between. The hour where night fades, but day has not yet fully begun. The Colosseum lingers here, neither asleep nor awake. Its stones glow with memory of silence, of dreams, of whispers carried through the night. For though day will soon bring its roar, this stillness belongs only to you. Rest your hand against the stone one final time. Feel its warmth returning under the touch of dawn. Remember how it felt beneath the stars, how it whispered with ghosts, how it dreamed with Rome. The Colosseum is not only an arena, it is a keeper of time, a guardian of memory, a witness to the eternal dance of night and day. The sun breaks now over the horizon. Gold spills across the city, painting rooftops, columns, and arches in fire. Shadows vanish. The Colosseum stands tall, awake once more, ready for another day of life, of spectacle, of history yet to be written. But you have seen what few ever saw. You have walked its arches in silence, heard its whispers in the dark, dreamed with its stones beneath the stars. You carry the Colosseum of the night, the eternal, the unseen with you now. And as the city wakes, you may rest, for the Colosseum remembers. It always remembers. And so, our journey through the Roman Colosseum comes to an end for tonight. We have walked its arches under the stars. We have descended into its shadowed passages. We have stood in silence among gladiators' dreams, heard the whispers of ghosts, and wandered through Rome itself as it slept beneath the moon. Thank you, dear listener, for joining me on this journey. Wherever you are in the world, I am truly grateful that you chose to spend this time here wandering, imagining, dreaming. If you've enjoyed this story, let me know. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if this journey through the Colosseum spoke to you and where in the world you're listening from tonight. It always amazes me how these stories carry us across time and distance, bringing us together no matter how far apart we are. And if you'd like to hear more, we will return. Another part of this story will come, carrying us deeper into the mysteries of the Colosseum and through the eternal city of Rome as it dreamed and lived. Together we will keep wandering through history, one quiet night at a time. But for now, it is enough to rest, to let your eyes grow heavy, to let your breath soften, to let the echoes of Rome fade gently into silence. Close your eyes. Imagine the cool stone beneath your hand, the stars above the arena, the hush of dawn spilling softly into the city. Carry that stillness with you. Let it calm your mind. Let it cradle you. You do not need to stay awake anymore. The Colosseum will keep its watch. History will remember. And you may drift into peaceful sleep. Good night, dear listener. Until we meet again.